What's up, guys? So after like a lot of upgrades and getting sick with upgraditis and repainting this frame and a lot of waiting, it is finally here, my new time trial bike for 2021. Let's check it out. Alright, so let's start with the frame. So this is a giant Trinity. Trinity is their time trial slash triathlon bike line, and this is a giant Trinity 2010. So this is almost 11 years old. This was actually my dad's bike back when he used to do triathlons, and he was actually the inspiration of why I like the bike today. So yeah, this was his bike, and then he gave it to me when I started cycling again last year in 2020. And ever since then, it's been pretty downhill in terms of my money because I've been spending on this bike and my other bike. But hey, it looks cool. At the core of this bike is the frame, which is a size extra small. It is a giant Trinity Zero. So let's talk a little bit about the frame. The frame itself is an aluminum frame with a carbon fork. So this part, that's actually aluminum. You can see the welds here and there by the where the chainstay meets the seat stay. I don't know what it's called. But this carbon load. No, this is a carbon fork, and yeah, that's it. The paint job, which was the last upgrade that I had. It won't be the last though, but it was the latest upgrade that I had. So the paint job was a paint job done by Teban Pintura. He's really good at repainting bikes, and I mean, just look at it. Doesn't it look amazing? So what I did was, since this frame was from 2010, it still had the old Giant logo, so I updated the Giant logo in a nice sparkly gold with the Trinity branding as well, and I went for a piano black finish with a pearl white to match. So if you look closely, it's kind of sparkly, and I really love that, like, really clean, and like, it's a subtle addition that makes the frame look so good. So one of the reasons that I had it repainted was because the original paint was actually coming off already, and that would have damaged the frame itself. So I just thought it was a good time to have it repainted. So here it is in its all its glory. Shout out to Christian for helping me design this. He is an amazing designer, and throughout the entire process, I was consulting with him before I actually had the final design, so yeah. So let's start with the cockpit. So these are the Profile Design Sonic Ergo 4525A. The 45 and the 25 are actually the angles at which these bend over here. And I went for this 45-25 bend because I like having a high hand position. I actually had myself fitted in a virtual wind tunnel with Sir Mito of Fluid Fit, and we found that having a high hand position to really like bring my head and my hands closer together to make just like one point that cuts through the wind was a lot more aero than having my hands more flat. So that's why I went for these bars, and yeah, it's really comfortable, and I really enjoy like just being in the aero position. And because the most important thing when being on a time trial bike is that you're comfortable and aero in your aero position. So it's no use being super aero if you're not comfortable. So moving backwards, over here we've got the time trial Wahoo mount. It's right here where I can see it. I used to have it over here, but now I've preferred to just move it down a little. But ideally I would want to move it a little bit higher. But here works well. It also has a GoPro mount, so I can film, I guess, but yeah. And the head unit that I use is a Wahoo Element Roam. I really like it because it has really great navigation, and it also shows a lot of data, which I really love. So you have your power numbers, your speed, and other things. Basically, it has like 11 fields, so if you want to see everything, you can see a lot. Alright, moving backwards, we got some more Profile Design. These arm cups are by Profile Design. They're what came with the aero bars as well. And then if you move over here, the base bar is actually not by Profile Design. It is the Zip VUCA Alumina. So I kind of mixed and matched with Profile Design and Zip for the cockpit. Up here for the group set of this bike is actually a mix of Shimano Dura-Ace and Ultegra. So for the shifters, we have Dura-Ace mechanical shifters up here where my hands go. And then down here on the bars, we have Dura-Ace mechanical brake levers. And I really like the feeling of these brake levers because just a little squeeze and it already actuates the brakes. So yeah, very important when you're going really fast on a time trial bike. So moving backwards, we have the stem. It is a Prime Doyen stem. It is a aluminum stem and it's 80 millimeters because, well, I don't know, that's just what I picked. And I think my old stem was also 80 millimeters, so when I upgraded, I went for 80 as well, so it would match the fit. So the cool thing about these aero bars was when we were doing the virtual wind tunnel, we found that twisting the aero bars a little inwards to each other had a really aero position and it helped bring my CDA down. So I kind of have this like praying mantis position with my hands on top of each other. All right, moving backwards, let's talk about the group set. So as I said, it's a mix of Shimano Dura-Ace and Shimano Ultegra. So over here, we have the front derailleur, which is Shimano Dura-Ace. I did not get Dura-Ace because I wanted Dura-Ace. Well, I did want Dura-Ace, but not because... Basically, there weren't any more Ultegra front derailleurs, so I went with Dura-Ace. I mean, I guess, you know, good problems, right? So yeah, went with Dura-Ace for that. And it looks really, really nice. I never thought I'd say this, but that front derailleur, sexy as fuck. Alright, moving on, we got an Ultegra crank. It is a standard crank. So basically what that means is that it's a 5339 up front. And 53 is the biggest normal or standard size that's readily available, so I went for that. In the future, maybe I'll upgrade to something bigger, but as of now, I still haven't used it to its full potential, so yeah, 53 is pretty big already. The crank length is 170. It's the same crank length I have on my road bike, so I wanted to standardize that. In the future, maybe I'll make it shorter because that's what my bike fitter recommends. So yeah, dang, I already have so many future upgrades for this. Maybe I'll make a new video.
In like 6 months?
Nah, 6 months? That's so long. See you guys next week. Alright, so moving on over here to the pedals, we got the Favero Asioma Uno pedals. They're power meter pedals, and they're really nice because I like to switch these between bikes so I don't have to buy 2 power meters. So yeah, and it actually spins so well that sometimes it's hard to clip in because it's like, and then you're like, yeah. But yeah, very, very nice spinny action. And I'm very happy with them. I don't need to have dual yet or ever. I mean, as long as it can measure power, right? So moving backwards to pair with a 5339, I've got an 1130. It's the most popular, I almost fell there. It's the most popular size right now. Everyone in the peloton is using it. And yeah, it's across all my bikes. I got 11 to 30 on the cassette. I never actually use the 30 unless it's a really, really steep climb. But on this bike, I only ride this on flat roads. So I'm mostly in the middle of the gear just to have an efficient chain line. The chain itself is a Shimano Ultegra's chain. So yeah, Ultegra group set. And then the rear derailleur, it's pretty scuffed up from my first ever crash on this bike. Literally the day after I upgraded the group set, I crashed. So that's where this scuff here is from, but I don't mind. And that Shimano Shadow technology thingy really did its job in saving my rear derailleur. So anyway, moving on to other parts of the group set, we have the brakes. The brakes are also Ultegra. They just look really sleek. And since this bike is pretty old, they didn't have disc brakes on road bikes, much less disc brakes on TT bikes. So yeah, rim brakes. Hashtag save the rim brake. Am I right? Rim brake, Ineos. Alright, so moving on to the wheel set. So we have a pair of Origin 8 850 carbon wheels. It looks cool and it sounds cool as well. We'll have a free hub sound check later at the end of this video. And on these wheels, I've got the Continental GP 5000s, and I'm running tubes inside because I'm just used to that, and yeah, I know how to fix that, so that I'm running tubes. And for race days, which I've never experienced yet, sadly, I have a pair of Vittoria Corsa Speeds, which are really, really fast tires, but they're not the most puncture resistant out there, so I only use those for race days. Needless to say, I've never used them before.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Moving upwards, let's talk about the seat post. The seat post is the seat post that comes with the giant Trinity. You can see that it's really like, look at that thick boy. Look at that wide, thick boy. Arrow, right? Arrow. Look at those. This is like the same, like, ooh, yeah, yeah, Arrow, right? But yeah, it's the one that comes with the giant Trinity. My seat post of choice for now is the Cellitalia Iron Evo seat post. It's a time trial specific seat post.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
And it allows me to just get perched over here by the front and just like really low, and it allows me to open up my hips and just get really, really aero. So yeah, it works well. And then behind that is where I put my hydration. I've got a profile design dual water bottle cage there, and yeah, it just works well. I'm still not yet super good at reaching back for the water, but I'll get used to it. On the profile design rear water bottle holders, I usually have a carrying case for all my spares and one water bottle, and usually that's enough for me, and if I need more water, I just refill it. I'm not gonna give any measurements because I don't know how to measure. Yeah, I don't know how to do that stuff, but I don't know how heavy this is, but since it's an aero bike and it's really just meant for time trials, I mean, the weight doesn't really matter because I don't climb with it. So yeah, it really moves fast and accelerates really quickly. That's what I love about this bike, and I just love being in the aero position. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's about it for this bike. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let us now check out the free hub sound of this bike. Oh, I really like it. Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, bruh. Hope you guys enjoyed! Is a repaint... Fucking hell. I can feel myself like dripping sweat, bro. So... Bye, doggos. Earl. Aw, dang it. So yeah, I have 10 dogs, and they just choose to be specifically here in this giant space that we have. Specifically right there. Anyway, so one of the reasons that I had the paint job fuck? How do you even say that? What did I say? Cockpit. So for the cockpit we have... So moving backwards, we have the stem. The stem is a Prime Doyen stem. It is 80 millimeters, and yeah, it's just... Holy shit. That's really cool because... Why is it very cool? That's really cool because it's really comfortable, and it's like I'm praying like that. Or like that. I guess. Fuck, I don't know.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. 53, baby.